Darren's going to do a thing at the end, a chief executive.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a thanks to everyone.
Safe.
We're on.
Are we on?
Okay. Joe Bonamassa, by the way, okay, welcome back everyone. This is the final sort of step before we close. We're running a little bit early, so apologise for that. But I'm sure that's okay with everyone. Now we've got another share to give you. I've lost him now, Jimmy. It's Jimmy, who's one of our star graduates from the Wirral. I first met Jimmy when he was a volunteer. We had a conference a couple of years ago down in Oxford that was a therapeutic community conference from all over Europe, and Jimmy came and he really sort of helped out with all the sort of things that were going on. But I think we met George de Leon, and George is like the guru of therapeutic communities and recovery. I don't know if you've not heard of him, Google him, because you'll find him on a load of different Googles, and he's also a great jazz musician, that's by the way. Anyway, that's where I first met Jimmy, but since then Jimmy's been a volunteer at our Wirral project, and last year I think it was, Jimmy was the volunteer for an amazing award ceremony, where were they, Jimmy? I can't remember the, anyway, it's an amazing award. Jimmy was the volunteer of the year. Since then he's now working for us in the Wirral, and a very inspirational person. So Jimmy, come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Sir Bob Campbell. National Volunteer of the Year.
National, sorry, there you go.
Yeah, I've come to talk about myself, which I don't usually struggle to do. Just want to say to the choir from the Wirral, really, really proud of it. The amazing fact you might not know is that not one of them could sing before they come into treatment, and now as you can see, one of them can. What about you, Big Phil? Don't want to upset him. My journey of recovery didn't actually start until I got to the Wirral Residential. I was engaged with Phoenix Community Programme in Derby, but if you ask me what Phoenix was to me back then, it was someone who gave me methadone. I used to go in, tell them a lot of lies, get me stripped and leg it and carry on doing what I was doing, which did me no favours, and that went on for a long time. I went through key workers. I'm sure some of them are still on leave now from 3 years ago. I just burnt them out. And then finally the boss took me on his caseload, and he was a good man. And he saw something in me that I was yet to see, that I could have a decent future and live a life free of drugs and alcohol. So he suggested that I go into residential treatment. So I sat nodding my head, so I got my script saying, yeah, what a great idea, but really thinking, I don't think so. And friends of mine that had done treatment had said to me, you won't last. You won't last a minute, because you'll get told what to do. You'll get told to wash dishes. What? I only used to wash my dishes when I couldn't see out the window. So I did that much head nodding. He thought I was serious as well, when actually I wasn't. And he was unfortunate, my key worker in, that his office was at the bottom of my street. So anytime I went anywhere, I walked past his office and I used to go in and say, you know, what's happening with this video? It's taking months. Making out I really wanted to go when I wasn't sure I did. And then I went in his office one day, one Friday afternoon, I'll never forget it, and I said to him, you need to ring this Wirral place that I'd never been to before. I'd actually been to Liverpool a few times, Walton Prison, but never seen Liverpool, never had a little look round or anything. So I spent a couple of years at a time in Liverpool, and I go home and people would say, oh, Liverpool's great, isn't it? I said, don't know. The bit I was in once a heart. But yeah, so I've gone into the key worker's office this Friday afternoon, and he said to me, well, we'll give them a little ring and see what they're saying, shall we? I said, all right, ring them. I'm hearing this side of the conversation, and he said, yeah, okay, right, I'll tell him. you want your Monday morning? I went, no! Can't go on Monday, get my gyro on Tuesday. Thursday's my goldfish's birthday and I've got a puncture on my bike. I need to sort all that out before I can even think about going into treatment. So he gave me some train tickets. He also gave me a letter which I'll come to in a little bit. I went to bed that night, I didn't set an alarm clock, I didn't pack a thing, not that I had much to pack. And I went to bed that night thinking, I don't think I'm going to go. 6 o'clock the next morning, the train I was booked onto was 11:30. 6 o'clock the next morning, something must have happened in me, and I just sat bolt upright in bed. Now I wasn't aware there was 2 6 o'clocks in one day, in that period, I just used to see the later one. So that was new to me as well, and I don't know, something just happened and I thought I need to get up there and give it a go, and if I'm honest, I was doing it not for me. I was doing it to save a relationship that turned out it wasn't worth saving anyway. And I was doing it to give my mum a bit of peace, because I really put her through the ringer. And I thought, I'll go up there, I'll have a look, make some excuses and leave, and then I can say I've had a go. So I've thrown a load of stuff in 2 Tesco carrier bags. I packed my attitude in one of them, loads of that, Nicola, our service manager. Yeah, tipped up at Derby train station, and the departure thing came up, and the Liverpool train was delayed for 20 minutes, sign from God that I shouldn't go, of course. I had a tenner in my pocket. The train, I knew that I could get back from Sheffield with a tenner. So as the train pulled out of Sheffield, it was kind of like, this is it, I'm going to have to go up there and have a look. And I got up there. It was pretty weird. I was isolated the first night because I turned up on everything but roller skates, so I had to be put away from everybody else. So I didn't really see much of what was going on. Everyone seems to sort of like be a little bit too friendly, standing a little bit too close, offering me hugs. Didn't do any of that. But the first morning, when I got up out of bed and came down the stairs, and the whole community were there, vibrant, busy, chaotic, noisy place, everyone seemed to know what they were doing except me. And I was introduced to Sarah, who, for those of you who've never done the weirdness of the therapeutic community, the SHM senior house manager, she's like the peer in charge. She liked to talk about feelings, things like that. Just wasn't me at all. Yeah, and then she told me I'd be going in the morning meeting, but before I go in the morning meeting, I'm going to be introduced to my buddy. And I'd had one of them since 6, and he pulled me out and made me wet myself, so I wasn't really looking forward to that at all. Waffling now. So yeah, I've gone into the morning meeting, they're all looking at me and wanting me to talk about feelings and stuff, and the most you got out of me at the time was, I'm alright. But I was far from alright. So really my plan was to get through my detox and Foxtrot Oscar back to Derby. During my detox I really wanted to go, but I couldn't go, I was too ill to go. I was too ill to carry my Tesco carrier bag and get myself home. So I stuck it out, got myself in a little bit of trouble because I've left school with a police escort actually. No, a first class honours degree, being a smart arse and thinking I'm a bit cleverer than everyone else. It's always been a bit of a problem of mine. Not anymore, Karen. So over time, what changed for me, because I did think everyone had been brainwashed and they're all hippies and all a bit mad, and I was just sort of like looking for a new place to go, because I'm very good at painting myself into a corner, and then I'll do something about it when I really have to, but at no other time. What changed for me was Nicola threatening to kick me out. That was a big one. And a decision was going to be made over the weekend whether I stayed in treatment or not. I was told on a Friday it could very well look like I'm going to be leaving on the Monday when all the big hitters come back in on duty. So I spent that weekend thinking about what was going to happen, and literally I would have got to the bottom of the drive, left or right, toss a coin. I wouldn't have known what to do, and that scared me a little bit. So the big hitters come in on the Monday, and one of the managers, Leon at the time, took me into his office and said, you need to tell me why you want to stay. And I think for the first time in my life, certainly that I could remember, I was totally honest. and gave him the reasons why I needed to stay. And it wasn't even me talking, it was like something just came out of me, real feelings, real truths, real emotions. And he took a gamble and let me stay. And again, even if I'm really honest, I decided to do the programme the right way so I could say to Nicola, I've done it your way, but it still didn't work, what are you going to do now? But it did work. A lot of people telling me about myself, and there was a lot to tell, because I had a really bad attitude, and I was upsetting people with the things I said. I've always been very quick-mouthed. That needed to stop. I needed to get rid of my sense of self-importance. That stopped in the encounter group, as Stuart mentioned earlier on. And another thing I want to say to you while I'm up here, Stu, is you look at Bob as a role model, I look at you the same way. Stuart's helped me a lot. So my programme was about to finish. I was in, as opposed to 6 months, I was in for 9 months because I was such a big job. They had to get scaffolding up and council and all that to sort me out. So at the end of the 9 months, I went down to our resettlement, just a couple of miles away from the residential. And something really changed in me then. I didn't take drugs in the main residential because I'd get caught probably, so I didn't do it. But what scared me was going back out onto the street where I'm going to be walking past people who've taken drugs, who if I buy some will get me some. You know, Birkenhead's not Saint-Tropez, and there's drugs there if you want them, and I was a little bit scared. But what changed in me at resettlement, which is why I'd encourage anybody who gets a chance to do it, I found out that I don't take drugs anymore because I don't want them. And that was massive in me, and I grew 10 feet from that. From walking past people that I knew had been using, people that had been discharged from the residential, that were out there not doing so well. And instead of being jealous and going off with them and getting up to no good, I saw something came out of me where I desperately wanted them to get themselves right because I liked them as people, and I wanted to help them. So I started having a bit of a think about that. I was invited by the managers at the Wirral to come back and do a little bit of peer mentoring. And I really enjoyed speaking with the people that were thinking about leaving. That was what did it for me. Because it came from the heart. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to blag it for the first time in my life. I was able, or I think I was able to speak truth to people at a time when they needed the truth speaking to them. Because that moment in the manager's office when it looked like I was going to get discharged, before I came into treatment, I was sleeping on my mate's settee. It was horrible. Like an old ripped up 70s settee. It didn't smell so good either, I'm sure you can imagine. And when I thought about what I was going back to in Derby, that settee was in my head. I could even smell it. It was disgusting. And I changed a little bit. I changed enough to not want to be on that settee again. I wanted better than that at the very least, you know. Got a house now, carpets, everything. So yeah, I kind of got into volunteering at the house, and I was very lucky. I think before my time, volunteers with Phoenix were not utilised correctly. They weren't given enough responsibility. They weren't. This is just my opinion. And from speaking to other people, there was a lot of sitting about. There was stuff you couldn't get involved in, and that I was lucky enough for that to change around me as I was volunteering. I was given a lot more responsibility. I was shown trust. At one point, I remember having the keys to the meds cabinet, thinking, "Wow, they just gave that to me." Another time, a resident had got off in the night and came back under a police escort. And the policeman went to hand me a bottle of vodka. Me, because he thought I worked there, and it made me feel like, you know, perhaps one day I might be able to do that. So I volunteered at the service, sort of like a couple of days a week for a few months, and then I got right into it, and I was up there most days for the following year and a bit. And then an opportunity came up through the National Apprenticeship Scheme. Now, I didn't know much about apprentices, but I did know you had to be under 25, and obviously I'm 26, so I wasn't sure. What are you laughing at? So I wasn't sure how that was going to work out, but again through Phoenix, the age thing was changed. 27, all right. And I was able to get in through that, and I just can't. I could stand here all day telling you the fantastic stuff that's happened to me since then. I've put a lot of effort in. I won't lie about that. It's been hard work sometimes. But I've kept going. It's been the only thing I've ever stuck to in my life. It's been the only thing I've ever feel like I've achieved that's positive in my life. I was just saying to a couple of ladies outside, I've told this story so many times, but there's another bit to it now. That I've just got back in touch with my sister I haven't spoken to for 3.5 years. It just blew me away. It's quite amazing. Her children, but she's got a boy I've never seen. Still haven't seen him. I remember being in treatment, and there was a picture of him as a baby on the side. And my friend said to me, "He looks like a cheeky little kid." And I went, "Yeah, he is." Because I didn't want to tell him I've never seen him, because I was embarrassed about it. But employing what Phoenix taught me, I turned around and said, "Hang on a minute," before he walked out. "I'm going to be honest, I've never seen him." And instead of him thinking, "Why did you tell me that?" he actually sat down and started talking to me about it and telling me about his family, and I'd never been anywhere where things like that happened before. So Phoenix put me through college. I'm now educating myself and everything, which I love. It was mad. When I first went back into education, because I had a pretty bad time at school, because as I said, I was a smart ass, I thought I was cleverer than the teacher. I think I might have been, actually, thinking back. It weren't all that. But yeah, going back into education, I was in a classroom with all these bits of kids, right, doing me health and social care too. And I've got my folder there, and I'm old school. You know, I'm a one finger. I use one finger and my tongue to type. So it's quicker for me to write by hand. And I've done all this. I'm getting better, Karen. Don't look at me like that. I'm getting better. So my folder was all handwritten, and this kid, you know, I've got things in my fridge older than him. And he said to me, "Have you done the health and safety unit?" And I said, "Yeah, I've done it." And he said, "Can I get a little look at it?" I said, "Yeah, go on, have a look." So he's opened it up and he's gone, "Wow." I'm thinking, yeah, he's good, isn't he? He starts shouting his little mates over, "Come and look at this, he's done it all by pen." You know, like a dinosaur. I passed that, and now I'm doing the 3, really enjoying it. That finishes next month. Hopefully I'm going to pass that as well. And then what I really want to do, I want to be a key worker and work one-to-one with people, because I think, certainly in my treatment journey, that was where I didn't have an act on in key work sessions, because there was no one to act up for. Key worker saw straight through me, one day actually telling me I'm full of shit, and she was right, I was totally. And when I realised that there was someone in there that didn't believe everything I said and wasn't blaggable and wasn't pliable, things started changing for me. So I'd love to do that for other people, and of course get paid rich, not pay the bills on my new house and all that. So yeah, my life's just absolutely, totally different than it used to be. You know, I was in addiction for 17 years, class A drugs, crack and heroin. The kids on our estate used to come with Superman because we used to smoke crack in phone boxes. We spend a lot of time in phone boxes. And another amazing thing happens. I lose track of time when I did it, but I know I did it. I remember being there. I went back to my drug service in Derby and did a little, we do virtual rehab days where we put people through sort of treatment in a day. It's a thing I've been involved in for a couple of years. And I went back and did it in Derby, and there was a guy, my appointments used to be every other Wednesday at the methadone clinic. And this guy used to come in, and I didn't know his name and he didn't know mine, but our appointments must have tallied every other Wednesday. And he'd come in, he'd go, "What?" And I'd go, "What?" And then we'd sit and ignore each other, and that was about it. So sort of like 18 months later, I've done my treatment, got clean, everything's, you know, I'm on the mend. And I'm doing this virtual rehab at the service, but I forgot to take extension leave. So I've gone down to reception to ask for an extension leave, and he's there, isn't he? This guy's sitting there. I walked in, he went, "What?" And instead of going, "What?" I wanted to shake him and say, "I've done so much, I'm not here for methadone." But I didn't. I just let him think that things are still the same, because I know they're different. So yeah, onwards and upwards. I hope everybody's enjoyed today. Thank you for listening.
What a story, and I never tire of listening to Jimmy's stories, because it's always different, but it's always the same sort of end result. And there he is standing there. I think one of the things about this day is, I mean, it's been an amazing day, rock and roll, everything, but the fact that we can never stop learning from each other, stop listening, you know, we always should be listening to each other. And I mean, I've just had a brilliant day, just listening to people's stories. And I've forgotten his name, the kid from Lancashire, you know, just Sorry? Mickey, yeah. And you know, how brave was that to get up here and, you know, just talk about it. And it's been a brilliant day. We've got our band sort of starring they're the winners of the ReCover competition that we had last year. And they're going to be playing 5 numbers. So do you want to get up and start putting yourself together? There are 5 guys from Bridge End. Dan, Josh, James and Ryan. They were the winners of our ReCover contest. And are we all set up? I shall leave the stage now and leave them to it, I think, but you can watch them getting their things plugged in and sorted out, so see you in a minute.
Think of anything else to say.
Hello. Hello. First off, we do want to say a massive thanks to Phoenix Futures letting us be a part of this project. By the sounds of all the stories I think we've heard today, it has been an inspiration, and they're obviously an amazing charity. They've been very charitable to us anyway. Instead of sleeping in the back of cars travelling around, we've had a hotel. So we have been quite spoilt as well. We've had bottles of water, not drinking out of drains. It's been very good. So we're going to play a few songs. I'll tell you a little bit what we're about as well. We're from Bridgend, South Wales. 4 boys, Josh, Dan, James. We were all in school together, played music. We actually threw a guitar at Josh over a year ago because he was into his bands, and told him to learn it because he said, right, I want to be cool. It didn't work though, Josh, did it? Alright, so we're going to play a little bit of music. And I hope you enjoy. We'll have a sing song, is it?
It is quite loud.
Yeah, we've come with a warning. Dan said it's going to be a little bit louder than we've been used to, perhaps. We've all got singing voices, haven't we? So.
Ready?
see you on Oh, you can back the ones and sing along, you know. Any dance moves that sounds in? Two of you will enjoy that. Last one. You're not going to want another one, eh? Okay, Dan. You're a slave driver. I get my first in the 16, holding at the frying pan night, playing it to the fingers back. For the summer of '69. Try We're going to take that, fans in? Oh, well, I think we'll have a... Yeah, we'll take that then. Get the dancers up.
Okay, let's give it up for Cover Up again.
Bringing it to a close now, and really hope you've enjoyed your day. It's been great, absolutely great. And I can only speak for myself, but this is what gets me out of bed in the morning and has done for the last 18 years, and hopefully will continue to do so for the next 18 years. Bob, do you want to come on, Bob?
Just trying to work out how
No, Bob. Go on, we're ahead.
how old I would be and how old I would be in 18 years' time, but that's all right. I'll still be here, sure.
Okay.
It's been a great day. It's been a great gig. I mean, rock and roll's great anyway, isn't it?
You love it, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Rock and roll, recovery. What a great combination.
Yeah. Okay. And absolutely, as it should be, the last words are going to go to our chief exec, Karen. So, kind of like you to all welcome Karen to the stage.
but before I do my thank you, it's just a little bit about the ReCover project and what it was for. Lots of us can have brilliant ideas, or good ideas, but it's the people that implement them that make those projects brilliant, and I'll come on to that in a minute. But the idea behind the ReCover project was to have a visible sign of recovery that celebrated the achievements people make through their recovery journey, and also to have a bloody good music project, and also to have a bit of fun. And hopefully what you've seen today is all three elements of that project coming together. But one thing that was a key part of the ReCover project was a competition. And part of the raising the profile of recovery was the idea that we would get people out there to vote for their favourite band in the competition. Those of you that followed the project will know that the winners of the competition were Cover Up. Take that as such a leveller, huh? And I would like them to come up here and receive an award for winning the competition. Well done, guys. I hope that winning the competition will lead on to really exciting fun things for you in the future. Thank you. So many ideas start with, wouldn't it be brilliant if we could do that? And the ReCover project started with, wouldn't it be brilliant if we could do that type of conversation? But there was one person that really made that initial idea, which to be honest was quite an embryonic idea, into the reality which was the ReCover project. Vicky has worked tirelessly. She's going to hate this because that's the type of girl that she is. She's worked tirelessly over the period of the project. She's made it bigger, she's made it better, she's made it more impactful, if that's a word. She's made it reach more people than we originally thought it could ever reach. So Vicky, thank you very much. Come up here.
Speech.
Vicky was ably... No, I'm not going to make it go now as well.
Thank you. No, stay there, stay there.
Vicky was assisted by a team that helped her. Her team was Laura, Jim, Courtney, and obviously Bob and Di. Thank you all for hosting, Bob and Di for hosting for today, but her team that helped her through the course of the project. The bedrock of our organisation, where we started from, was the idea of people in recovery helping others in addiction. And I hope what you have heard today is giving you an insight into our organisation. The stories that have been shared have done with honesty, with humour. It's something we experience every day within Phoenix in our services across the country, but it takes an extra bravery to be able to share those stories with you in a setting like this. So can we thank everybody that shared today, whether you plan to or not. I'd like to thank you all for coming, and thank you for having such a brilliant time. It's been excellent that we're in the room and see so many people enjoying themselves in such a great setting. So thank you to the Brink, thank you everybody for coming, and safe journey home. Bye-bye.